Let's start with The Host and give us the backstory on how you acquired the film rights to this project.
The Host was one of the first scripts we saw when we started Open Road Films a couple of years ago, and we met with Stephanie Meyer and the producers in Cannes in May of 2011. We jumped on it, we got involved immediately, we were very aggressive, and we've been nurturing this along with the filmmakers for close to 2 years now, and we're super excited that the movie's finally coming to theaters on Friday.
And just to clarify, this is a very different storyline than Twilight. But Stephanie herself has said people might see a couple of similarities theme-wise. You're a savvy marketing guy. I would imagine you will try to take advantage of that massive Twilight audience with this film as well.
Sure. On the one hand, we want to be reminiscent for some of a huge, successful, and frankly terrific franchise like Twilight. But the movie is not, and we don't want to appear to be derivative of it. The movie stands on its own. It's a terrific story, a great book, and I think Andrew Niccol has made a fantastic film.
Who also directed Gattaca. What's interesting about Open Road is it was created by two movie chains, AMC and Regal. As we saw bigger studios pare back the number of films they were putting out, there's some open theater space, and then Open Road comes out of that. Say 5 or 10 years ago, if Open Road was around back then, would you have been able to acquire the film rights to something like The Host?
Certainly it would have been much more difficult for us to get in as early as we did. And again, we only released our first film about 1.5 years ago, so it would have been much more difficult, to your point, 5 or 10 years ago to get in with the caliber of film that we have so early in our existence with movies like The Host, End of Watch that you mentioned, The Grey with Liam Neeson from last year. So we've been very fortunate that we've been able to work with so many great filmmakers and had the privilege of distributing many great films so early in our existence.
And can you give us a sense on how now that you've had a fair number of films come out now, how the business model is coming together? I mean, what the profitability story looks like?
I'm thrilled to say we're ahead of plan. Open Road has been a great success. I believe our partners at AMC and Regal are very pleased with our progress and success, and their support speaks volumes to us in terms of their feelings. But so far we're ahead of plan, and we're just thrilled about that.
Here in Silicon Valley, there's a lot of buzz about this Steve Jobs biopic, Jobs, which you have the rights to. Initially, the thought was it would be coming out in April. What can you tell us on the release plans?
We acquired the picture just before its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival in January, and the original thought was, in working with the filmmaking team, that we would try and rush it out in April and capitalize on some of the buzz coming out of Sundance, but that just proved to be too aggressive a plan. So we'll be announcing a new release date shortly. My guess is it'll be sometime over the summer. We're trying to finalize that now, but the movie is really terrific. Ashton Kutcher in particular gives a fantastic performance as Steve Jobs, and a super supporting cast as well, with Josh Gad, Dermot Mulroney, Matthew Modine, and others. But the movie's very, very good. Josh Stern, the director, did a terrific job.
And you have always been known as a guy who can find good projects and market them in a really smart, savvy way compared to the big players. Give us a sense on how you might go about marketing that film as opposed to, say, some others.
Well, it's a movie about truly a genius, an extraordinary man, and perhaps the most unconventional man of our times. So certainly we're not going to run a conventional marketing campaign about such an unconventional person like Steve Jobs. So there certainly will be a more detailed focus on digital, more than broadcast, things like that. But we've got a few things up our sleeve, and when we announce the release date and start the marketing campaign in earnest, happy to talk to you more about it. But we're very bullish on the movie.